Esta agenda económica la hacemos fuera del estudio de CNN Chile, porque vamos a conversar con una de las personas que ha aportado más a la tecnología y a la innovación en lo que actualmente manda en el mundo automotor, la conducción autónoma. Me refiero al fundador de Mobileye, Mois Navon, que está con nosotros acá en el programa. Mois, gracias por hablar con CNN Chile.
Muchas gracias.
Ahora vamos a hacer la entrevista en inglés. Mois, please introduce yourself to the Chilean audience. Make a little resume of your career.
Okay, a little resume of my career is basically, I started as an engineer at UCLA. I got a student internship at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I basically began to learn engineering at NASA. After that, I worked for small companies, large companies. I moved to Israel and began to work for all kinds of startups and
But in NASA, yes, you work for the Star Wars program.
That's true. So actually, it's at NASA I worked for some other projects, and then following that I worked for Star Wars for the United States government, and basically I developed what's known as an IRSP, an infrared scene projector. It's the simulator that tests to make sure missiles hit missiles before you go shooting missiles in space.
Also, another piece of tech that you helped to create is the technology that allows us to watch video in the airplanes.
Correct. So in the early 1990s, there's an algorithm that came out called MPEG. It basically allows you to compress and decompress video. It's what allows us to watch all the movies on our phone. At the time, I was tasked with making the first video-on-demand system for airplanes. Basically, I built hardware that implements this MPEG algorithm and allows you to put all kinds of movies on the airplane, and everybody can watch what they want when they want.
Then you went back to Israel. Tell us about your career then.
Yeah, so okay, I should just point out the MPEG system, the video on demand, was in Herzliya in Israel. And then from there, I moved to another company that made encryption and decryption for videos, make sure that people pay for the television that they've ordered. And then following that, I worked for Mobileye. And so Mobileye is really where everybody, or many people are familiar. This is a company that is now behind the technology of autonomous vehicles. But really, it didn't start with being autonomous.
What was the first steps of Mobileye if it wasn't on the automobile technology?
Correct. So it was on the automobile technology, but I started with the company about a year after they had already proven the concept of detecting objects with a single camera. And the application of that, which was in the year 2000, nobody was talking about autonomous vehicles in 2000, 2001, etc. The initial application was known as ACC, Adaptive Cruise Control. Basically, the car sees the cars in front of you and can adjust your speed without you touching the controls.
We're going to talk about that tech, but then the explosion in growth of Mobileye was enormous.
Correct. So it wasn't about ACC, Adaptive Cruise Control. We quickly realized that there are many other applications, and there's a whole area in the automotive industry called ADAS, Advanced Driving Assistance Systems. And that's basically putting in all kinds of controls to make the car safer. Automatic emergency braking, the car will stop before you get in an accident. Lane keeping assist, we watch that you stay in your lane unless you signal and want to get out of the lane, and many other features that make the car much safer.
When we talk about autonomous driving, we think that is for us, the drivers don't do anything. But your perception is different. It's about saving lives.
Correct. So there's a couple of things. First of all, when people think about autonomous vehicles, they think about what's known as level 5. I say, take me to the beach, I go to sleep, I watch a movie. Level 5 is still a ways to come. We are now working on level 2, 3, 4. Level 2 is, like I said, the basic ADAS stuff like automatic emergency braking. Level 3 brings more control. Level 4 can take over even more. But nevertheless, all of those levels are still sophisticated ADAS levels where the human still needs to be aware and take control. Level 5 is what we're all working toward that will then allow you to just do whatever, no human control in the car. In terms of saving lives, all of these levels will contribute to the safety of the roads, but of course, the primary savings of lives will be when people stop driving.
Exactly, but we have to continue driving y nosotros vamos a manejar y Mois Navon nos va a explicar exactamente cómo funciona el control crucero adaptativo, el asistente para mantenerse en un mismo carril y lo haremos arriba de un Audi e-tron. Pero antes vamos a ver un resumen económico de esta jornada.